The Market Report, bringing you up to speed in the business world. Adbn, a part of you.
Welcome to today's edition of the Market Report on Adbn Television, the 3rd day of August 2026. My name is Adefolarin Olamilekun. On today's edition of our show, our focus is in three-part discussion. First, we are taking a look at small business in Nigeria and how it has been predicted that small business in Nigeria will grow in the second part of the year 2026. Also taking a look at the swift of CBN rules and regulations that the Emir of Kano, Emir Sanusi, have acknowledged to be working for Nigeria. In this regard, the Emir said Nigerian economy is growing faster than the population. But let's take a look at our background of discussion today and take a look at what we are really treating, talking about our discussion purpose. Now, let's take a look at the background. Let's have the background right now, talking about the Nigerian growth that has now outpaced population growth. But let's take a look at the background once again. Interestingly, Nigerian small business sector could experience moderate expansion in H2 2026, but growth is likely to be uneven. The strongest opportunity should be in agriculture, food processing, digital services, logistics, retail, manufacturing, and other non-oil activities. However, high borrowing costs, infrastructure expenses, inflation, and limited access to formal credit could prevent small businesses from fully benefiting from the wider economic recovery of Nigeria. And for the Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II, who said Nigerian economy is growing faster than its population for the first time amid reforms by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. The Emir made a remark in a viral video while speaking at the ongoing 31st Nigerian Economic Summit. He said, in recent years, the bank has restored stability to the economy after years of excessive money supply and macroeconomic instability. The Emir also hailed the CBN effort to tighten monetary conditions, noting that the bank had successfully addressed the liquidity overhang inherited from previous years. His remark also came as the CBN, for the second consecutive time, retained the monetary policy MPR rate at 26.50% in a bid to curb the country inflation, which stood at 15.91% in June. Joining me on the show to express some of the development from the small business predictions for the H1 and H2 2026 to the CBN monetary policy, as well as what the Emir of Kano is saying, is not other than Dr. Innocent Ode, Director of Innobek Business School here in Abuja. Will be joining me, but let's quickly go to Nigerian stock market and see how the market has performed today. Well, interesting. The market is here, and let's take a review of the market. Let's really take a look at the summary of the market as being shown on the screen right now. The market is a bullish outing on the 3rd day of August 2026 with a plus 737 at a 53%, showing that the 134 listed companies had in total 31 gainers and 2227 losers. On the part of the market capitalization, we have 158.80 trillion naira. On the market value, we have 44.045 billion naira, 18% improvement in volume, a 10% decline in turnover, and a 3% decline in deals. Although for the 1 week loss, we recorded 1.12%. On the 4 week gains, we also have 6.70%. And the year-to-date gains is 57.84%. Let's go take a look at the top gainers for today. We have Etana at 33 naira at a plus 10. Corn Oil PLC at 8 naira 36 kobo at a plus 10. Regal Insurance at 0.88 naira kobo at a plus 10.0. Let me take that back. Regal Insurance is 0 naira 88 kobo at a plus 10.00. The MC Nichols 5 naira 75 kobo at a plus 9.52. Then First Holding Company 130 naira at a plus 8.38. Let's now take a look at the top loser side of the market and see how they stand. FTN, that means Fortis General Insurance, 2 naira 34 kobo at a minus 10.00. Veritas Capital, 1 naira 43 kobo at a minus 9.49. Then Vita Foam, 179 naira 0 kobo at a minus 7.70. Then TIP, the initiative, at 28 naira 00 kobo at a minus 6.67. Meanwhile, on the last on the table is NACO, Nigerian Aviation Handling Company, at 155 naira 00 kobo at a minus 6.63. With this, let's check out the top or highest value on the market. The companies with the highest value. We have AVA Cap. Now, let me quickly bring to all the gist about AVA Cap. Maybe for those of you who are just hearing the name AVA Cap, I mean AVA Capital Nigeria Limited. This is the newest company on Nigerian stock market. And guess what? With just 12 trades, they have recorded 90.8 billion naira on the market. We have Champs with 878 at 45.7 million naira. Then Sterling Bank at 325 at 7 million naira. Then TIP 2,734 trade at 82.4 million. Then Jais Bank 1,319 at 30.15 million naira shares volume. Let's now take a look at the highest value for today. We have Seplat 488 trading at 16.2 billion naira. MTN 5754 trading at 5.4 billion. Then Arade 1,915 at 3.16 billion. Then First Holding Company, the company that made the news all throughout last week on Nigerian stock market, having break the gist, having break a new record of over 194 billion naira as value. But today, they are standing at 3 billion naira when it comes to their value addition to the company shares. Then we have Zenith Bank, 2,830 at 2.4 billion naira. With this, let's go global and see global oil price across the world. A lot is happening. Meanwhile, for global oil price, there is a breaking news already that the price of the crude oil will definitely go down before today. After I was able to, gather all the data, I quickly stumbled on an article earlier today that said crude oil price will go down as low as $80 because there is a peace deal on the table. And someone asked, what new peace deal are we talking about? The Middle East crisis is still on. President Donald Trump and Iran, they are still dragging the war. But for President Donald Trump, he's putting up a new peace deal on the table. You'll hear more about the Middle East crisis, US-Iran war, later on Adbn, when Amamakos and Grace Eke will be coming up with global updates. Now, for WTI today is a plus 0.43, Brent a plus 0.62, Bonny Light a minus 0.62, and OPEC basket a plus 2.95. Let me check out the other page of energy price. Talking about natural gas at a minus 0.23, coal a plus 0.4, and ethanol a minus 0.25. Meanwhile, for gasoline, it is a minus 2.27 for today. With this, let's check industrial material. For gold, this is a poor outing, starting the week with a minus 1.21. Silver, a minus 1.78. Copper, a plus 0.23. Meanwhile, for steel, it is a minus 0.83 for today. Let's also look at iron ore, palladium, platinum. And for iron ore, it is a plus 0.14. Palladium, a minus 1.49. Platinum, a minus 1.28. And lithium, a minus 2.05. This is how they stand. And interesting, I will say. Gold. I'll leave that for tomorrow when we're talking about more about gold. But let's go and see Nigerian FS market. Let's talk about Naira. Over the weekend, we saw a very interesting package from Central Bank of Nigeria. Throughout last week, after the NPR meeting or MPC meeting upper week, CBN went into another serious meeting throughout last week. They hosted the 7th African Emerging Economy Forum, where laudable government officials in Nigeria and across Africa came to Abuja to speak on African economy. We have the World Bank president that was here. We have the WTO president, DG that was also here, and a lot of area of global economic leaders coming to Nigeria to speak about Nigerian economy and also speak about African economy. But for the Naira, goodwill message given on that edition of that conference give kudos to central bank for ensuring the Naira remains stabilized. And that's what we are seeing. But for today, it is 1,368 against the US dollar, 1,852 against British pounds, 1,573 against euro, and 972 against Canadian dollar. Although for Naira, no gain today, but the goodwill message from world leader, global economy world leader, have shown that indeed Naira is now a global competitive currency. Let's take a look at the rest of the currency from the yen of Japan, Riyadh, and the rest of the. Now it is 856 against the yen of Japan, 364 against the Riyadh of Saudi Arabia, 202 Naira against the yuan of China, and 82 Naira 73 kobo against the rand of South Africa. But let me bring us to speed on how far Naira have survived and now known or regarded as one of the global competitive currency across the world. In the last 7 months, Naira has been able to recover about 305 Naira against the US dollar, 649 against British pounds, 432 against euro, and 347 Naira gain against Canadian dollar. Meanwhile, against the yen of Japan, it is 2 Naira 89 kobo gain, 68 Naira gain against the Riyadh of Saudi Arabia, and 68 Naira gain also against the yuan of China. Meanwhile, against the rand of South Africa, it is 18 Naira 61 kobo the Naira has been able to accumulate in the last 7 months when it comes to the gains of Naira against all this foreign currency. And that's why today, and since last week, it has been accolade, acknowledgement of the great gains of Naira and how Naira has been stabilized against all these foreign currencies. If you recall, late 2023, it was 1,800 Naira against dollar. But yeah, right now, it is now 1,368 Naira. We're going for a short break, but our discussion point is a serious agenda, putting Nigerian economy forward, talking about how Nigerian economy is growing faster than the population and how small businesses will also survive in the rest part of the month for the year 2026, meaning from the month of July, August, September, October, November to December, how small businesses will survive. And more also, the Central Bank of Nigerian policy, how has it helped the economy to grow. Dr. Ode is here, live and direct in my studio, the Market Report Show, Adbn television studio, and he'll be helping us to understand some of this development. What the Emir of Sanusi Lamido is talking, the former Central Bank of Nigerian governor, and what he's saying about Nigerian economy growing faster than the population of Nigeria. Let's check out on this break first.
Every second, a story breaks.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has formally presented the 2026 appropriation bill to the National Assembly.
The nation reacts. The world shifts. History moves in real time. Before the noise, before the opinions. One screen keeps you connected. From the headlines shaking the nation to the stories everyone talks about tomorrow. Stream anytime, anywhere. When the story matters, you know where to turn. Adbn. A part of you.
Every day, decisions are made, policies are announced, challenges emerge, and lives are changed. But beyond the headlines, beyond the politics, beyond the noise, are the conversations that matter. On Softline, Nigeria's leading voices unpack the issues shaping our future, from governance to business, education, healthcare, technology, security, and the economy. Real conversations, expert insights, solutions that move the nation forward. Because understanding today's decisions shapes tomorrow's opportunities. Now airing 4 p.m. every weekday and Saturdays. Softline, where informed decisions begin.
It doesn't take a pandemic or an epidemic to know that clean hands save lives. Hand washing is essential anytime, anywhere to protect your health. So keep washing your hands, not just when they're dirty, but even on the go. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep your hands clean.
Welcome to the Niger Delta, a region of incredible beauty and stark contrast. From its breathtaking landscapes to its rich cultural heritage, this is a place where history and modernity collide. But beneath this serene surface lies a story of struggle and resilience. The Niger Delta is the lifeblood of Nigeria's economy, home to vast oil reserves that fuel the nation, yet it is a land where the people fight for their share of the wealth. Join us on the program Niger Delta Today as we explore the heart of the Niger Delta, discover the vibrant cultures, the struggles for environmental justice, and the stories of the people who call this place home. This is the Niger Delta, a land of contrast, a story of resilience, a journey of hope. Don't miss our exclusive series, Niger Delta Today, every day at 12 noon, only on Adbn TV. Witness the untold stories, experience the journey, be part of the change. Welcome back. Nigeria's small business sector could experience moderate expansion in H2 2026, but growth is likely to be uneven. The strongest opportunity should be in agriculture, food, manufacturing, and other non-oil activities. High borrowing costs, infrastructural expenses, inflation, and limited access to formal credit could prevent small businesses from fully benefiting from the wider economic growth. For instance, the IMF has predicted the Nigerian economy will grow by 4.1% in the year 2026. So how much of that growth will small business benefit? Sitting with me in the studio is Dr. Innocent Ode. Doc.
It's a pleasure.
Good to have you on the show.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
I know from my intro, you have heard what I said, small businesses. There is a prophecy, let me put it that way, that they are going to grow. They are going to contribute to the Nigerian economy very well in the second quarter. Doc, what's your assessment?
Of course, the small business have been contributing a lot already. You know, they've been contributing a lot in the past years to the economy. And I believe the prophecy, they're going to contribute a lot in this the second and the last quarter of 2026. There are a lot of things that the small business will contribute, but the last time I came here, I told you also, the small businesses have been making some gains lately, but the inflation is overshadowing the gains of these small businesses. For instance, the small businesses make some progress by making profit, and before you know, the inflation is overshadowing a lot of their gains. A lot of their gains have been overshadowed by the gains that the small business is making in this second and last quarter of 2026.
Now, let me quickly correct one impression so that they don't think that we are doing church program on market platform, market report. When we talk about prophecy, the prediction is a prediction.
Yes, prophecy is a prediction.
Yes.
Prophecy is a prediction. Exactly. We are not talking about church prophesying this. No. We are talking about predictions.
Prediction on small businesses, that what they are going to gain in the economy. Now, Doc, on your own part, being someone that have grown businesses, that are also a businessman, when this projection came, how did you receive it?
Well, I receive it with joy. I receive it with joy because SME are one of the engine growth of the economy. And SMEs contribute a lot because, number one, SME contribute employment. Because when there's no employment, when there's high rate of unemployment, it will lead to social devices. People go into crime because of the idle man is the devil's workshop. So SME, number one, contributes to employment. Number two, contribute to the GDP. Number three, contribute to the economic growth. So the prediction is welcome. Is welcome because it will help in boosting, reviving the economy. I learned what the former central bank governor said about the revival of the economy. No, it's not yet yet. Because what is the central bank governor was trying to say is that in the former administration, they go into what they call ways and means, whereby the central bank involved in printing a lot of money, and there were a lot of liquidity in circulation, a lot of money in circulation, thereby making production to be low because making excess of capital inflow in the economy. Now, what the central bank governor, the former central bank governor, is saying, he's saying that, for instance, this administration, they are not going into the former ways and means, printing a lot of excess capital, printing a lot of money, and now they are able to mop out a lot of excess capital in circulation, thereby trying to control the monetary policy. So now the prediction of the small businesses, that the small businesses will make headway is correct. Is correct because looking at the economic situation, as the central bank governor said, they were able to manage the inflation. They manage the mopping out the excess capital in circulation by the central bank. And also, now the small businesses also, they have a lot of opportunity. Whereby look at the fintech we have now. Using the fintech, the small businesses can leverage on these fintechs to be able to expand their businesses. A lot of businesses now are going online. They are going online to be able to showcase their businesses. So all these are the predictions showing that the small businesses are going to make gains in this second and the last quarter of 2026. That's
interesting. But let's quickly take on what the former CBN governor said and the current emir of Kano was really pointing out. Although you have alluded to it, that what he is pointing out is that the previous government of Nigeria, that means federal government, were printing money in excess. And I could recall there was a particular governor from the south, that is the Edo State Governor Obaseki.
Yes.
He came up and accused the federal government of late President Buhari that they printed over 60 billion naira.
Trillion, not billion, trillion naira.
Trillion naira. Thank you for correcting. Now, those money were used specifically for the payment of salaries and pensions.
Of course.
How dangerous is that to the economy?
It's dangerous to the economy because economy where there is no production is linked to doom. For economy to revive, for the economy to grow, we need to go into production, not printing of money. If you print money and there's excess of money, people will not go out again. Everyone will sleep in their house. They will just wake up and pick money. Money will not have value. It will lose value. So printing of money, the printing of excess of capital, liquidity does not promote economic growth. Rather, it will lead to more inflation, leading to more money chasing fewer goods. So therefore, the way to go is to go into production. When you produce, then you sell your currency, you export your currency and earn other capital. Why is China becoming the emerging economy of the world? It's very simple because China is going into production. They export their goods to various countries. China going to other countries to invest, going to build infrastructure to those countries, and they carry back flight capital back to their country, thereby boosting China economy. And China is moving in the fast lane. Why? Because they are going into production. Look at the computers. Look at you see China developing into car production. You see China developing into our mining sectors. You see China. That is the way to go. That's what will make that. It does not anyway improve the economy because it will lead to excess of liquidity, money in circulation. Thereby, there too much money will lose its value.
Now, talking about money losing its value, one of the things that the emir was also pointing to the fact is that the economy at this point in time under President Tinubu is now growing faster than the population. Doc, if you have to explain this to our viewers, because many of us will be wondering, how come? How did it happen? Economy going faster than population?
Now, let me explain what a former governor means. He's not saying that the economy has arrived. He's not saying that the economy is in a Dorado. He's not saying the economy we are living in, because in the early 70s, Nigeria economy was doing well, competing with Malaysia, competing with Singapore in the early 70s. So he's not saying the economy has gotten there. He's saying now the economy is on track. He's saying that the central bank is no longer going into ways of means, printing the excess of liquidity and capital. That's what he's saying. He's saying the central bank is in order, is on track. That's what he's saying. So people should not misquote that. Now the economy has arrived and people are doing well. No, we are still here to get there, because you can measure economic development. Why? By the GDP, by the per capita income. How much is the average worker taking home? Has the standard of living improved? If these are the ways to measure economic growth. So for now, we have not arrived. He is saying the economy is on track. If we maintain the track, if an athlete in a race, if he maintains his track and he gets his goal. So he is saying that the economy is now back on track. Not that the economy has now arrived, because if you look at the indices, you look at the population of Nigeria is growing. It's growing. He cannot say it. He's not trying to say that the economy is growing faster than the population. No. That's not what he means. He is saying that now the economy is on track. Now the central bank has a position. No more going into excess of printing money, capital money to pay salaries, money to give to governors. No, he is saying the economy. Of course, now with the removal of fuel subsidy, most governors are getting more. Last week, I heard the president was advising the governors and telling them, don't go into construction of elephant project that does not add meaning, does not touch the life of the average Nigerian, because most states are getting more money now. So therefore, the president, if the government is doing well, let's praise them. If the government is not doing well, let's say, no, you can do better in this area. Like for instance, look at the NEL fund, the student loan program. It's good. It's a good program, because many of these undergraduates cannot afford their fee. So there are a lot of programs that the governors can also adopt. When there's a development program from the national level, some governors can also think out of the box, bring out some programs whereby it will touch the average Nigerian. Because when we talk about the SME now, for instance, let's go to the sub-government, which is the state government, the local government. They can also bring out some programs whereby they can give grants to SMEs, to people that have ideas to do businesses, so that the local government, there will be accelerated development. And if there's accelerated development from the local government to the state, a lot of people will not come to the cities. That's what we call rural-urban migration. People are running to the cities because there are no better life in the rural communities. There are no better life in the states. Some states, we go to some states in Nigeria, where you see activities happen is in the state capital. So therefore, the state government, now they are receiving more money. They can bring out some programs. They can support SME. They can bring out some development program that will trickle into the ordinary Nigerian. By doing that, there will be accelerated development.
Interesting. Your perspective is showing a very comprehensive evaluation of the current scenario of Nigeria. But back to the central bank of Nigeria. One of the key issues that Nigerian central bank has always had is that they always claim to be fighting inflation. Well, much of it, what do you make of it? Let me just put it that way.
Yes. One of the key mandates of the central bank is to control the monetary policy. What is the monetary policy? Monetary policy is to control the money in circulation. The central bank, they have the mandate to print new and to issue out new currency. They have the mandate. If there is excess of liquidity, that's what we are saying about talking of excess of money in circulation. The central bank has a duty to mop out the capital, to make sure that there will not be more. The amount of money in circulation is not excess. Because if there is excess of money, if there's too much of money everywhere, you go on the street, you see money, everybody just wake up. People will not walk.
Exactly.
People will not walk. There will be total shutdown. Everybody will wake up with the money. You will not see what to buy. So therefore, the central bank has a duty, number one, to control the monetary policy, and two, to control the fiscal policy. So now, you see, that is their main duty. So when there is inflation, the central bank brings out a lot of program to see how to control the inflation in circulation, making the inflation go down. Because if there is inflation, and just as we have talked about the small businesses, they are making a lot of gain. The predictions, there are a lot of gain the small businesses are making, but the inflation is overshadowed. So the central bank is doing its best to make sure they control the inflation, and that is the responsibility. That is the duty of the central bank, to make sure that there will not be, at least the money in circulation is not excess. Whenever there is short of excess of inflow of capital in the country, the central bank prints more, they issue out new currency, and they mop out. So that is their responsibility.
Interesting also, I will quickly add to what Doc have said. Many Nigerians normally confuse the role of central bank. The moment we say central bank want to mop up cash in circulation, a lot of Nigerians get confused about it. And from what Doc have said so far, is to also help us to be able to manage the economy in a way that we will not have excess of money that will now push the price of goods up And that's one of the key things that the central bank
businesses can pull from to put back on their business, to expand their business. And of course, the expansion of the business is the expansion of the economy. The expansion of these small businesses is the creation of employment. So small businesses can leverage on the opportunity despite the inflation in the country.
Interesting. Despite the inflation in the country, small business can leverage on cooperative grouping or cooperative society to raise capital. But if we're talking about cooperative society or corporate grouping, many Nigerians who have found themselves in that corridor of raising money to cooperative, they do complain of a double or triple interest rate.
Yes, because when the commercial banks are not giving the funds, and also the small businesses are afraid of going to the commercial banks, they leverage on the cooperatives. And these cooperatives are opportunists. They are opportunists because whenever people are leveraging on you, people try to raise their own interest because we have a lot of people coming in for the money. Now they increase the interest in collection of social loan. So that is what is leading most of these cooperatives to push up their interest rates of charging loans.
But for that interest rate they are charging, which is quite triple sometimes. Sometimes some of them complain that it's triple or even double as the case may be. But for you, what advice would you give to cooperative society who also want privileges, who also want people to patronize them, particularly small businesses?
I told you about the opportunists because they look at people coming to them. The number of people coming for facilities from the cooperative is high. So therefore, the cooperative must know that they are also part of the economy. They are also part of supporting the economy with their facilities. So thereby, they should reduce their interest rates. They should increase their interest rate and tighten the leakages, because most times they are what we call bad debt. Most of these cooperatives go into bad debt. They give loan and they cannot recover. So they should reduce their interest rate for the benefit of their members, so that they will pool resources, so that the members can also expand their businesses. Because if the business is doing well, the cooperative will also do well. So I advise the cooperative to bring down their interest rates.
Exactly. We'll be joined by Prince Emmanuel Elesomi all the way from Akure, Ondo State. We'll also be a strained issue in the Nigerian stock market. Last week, Mr. Stock market. I put it that way because Nigerian stock market have gone through phases. And let me put it this way. In the month of June, Nigerian stock market was said to be going to what they call June for correction. In a sense that entire month of June, the whole market went through a very bearish outing. Consecutive 26-day bearish outing, in and out to bullish outing. But in the month of July, it was also regarded as a month of correction. But how much of that correction do we have when it comes to Nigerian stock market? So Prince Emmanuel Elesomi will be joining me shortly via Zoom so that we can also extract the best performing stock on Nigerian stock market in the month of July, as well as the developing issues within the Nigerian stock market going forward. But I still have in the studio Doc. Doc, I know you want to comment on Nigerian stock market because the last time you were here, we talked about Nigerian stock market and you give us your own submission. Okay, well, I'll come back to you. I'm being informed that Prince Emmanuel is ready. My Prince, it's good to have you on the show today, sir.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. God bless you.
No, interesting. Let's now go straight to our discussion. The stock is back. Nigerian stock market is back. After the month of June, which was the month of correction, we are now in the month of August. Although the month of July was also regarded as a month of, recorrection. But right now, the month of August is here. The best of the best in the month of July has been announced. But what do you make of the market so far?
We are glad and we are rejoicing indeed, because the market has come back to its normal position, to its normal perspective in all areas of fundamentals. And before now, there's no need for even any sort of panicking or panic. Take, for example, even in that June, some equities try as much as possible to maintain their balance. And it is just the overall And at that particular time, that turned bearish. But that as it may, we realize that July is a month of correction, month of stability, because I was saying then that people will come back because this is period of interim dividend payout, and nobody want to miss all this out. And we are glad that these equities are performing very well. Or was it not around that period that Nigeria was adjudged to be the best exchange, having beaten South Korea to second place? And then even in Africa, we are at a par with Ghana. And so there's no cause for alarm. The fact remains that a patient dog will eat the fattest bone. So when we were asking people not to exercise any sort of panic, they thought we are playing. And we are now seeing champions emerging from the market. We now see equities that are running, atop and ahead of their peers, which we even guessed before now that so stock, if care is not taking, I think I mentioned three banks then, and the one at the bottom is now at the top. So it's a wonderful scenario, and such equity, one will not be surprised at the end of the third quarter if it goes to 200 naira per share. So
Now, my prince, another very interesting package coming out of Nigerian stock market recently is that we saw a great walk of sell-off in the month of July. What really happened that majority of investors, both retail investors, institutional investors, both domestic and foreign, they were doing sell-off in the month of July? What really happened?
what really happened is that everyone is monitoring the market to take position. Imagine somebody who just went for 222.2 billion units of First Bank. He knows what he is doing. And so when these institutional investors are making huge purchases, little did all other people realize that they mean business. And that one is even paying off. The last 1 month now, two unexpected stock, surprised every investor, gaining 100% plus in their shares. And so that one is heartwarming. That one is encouraging. It is even exciting to see, stocks of such nature.
Say heartwarming, I will agree with you, because we also saw something very drastic on the stock market in the last couple of days before we enter the month of August. We saw the market gaining over 11.11 trillion naira for market capitalization. Let's have your take on that. 11.11 trillion naira as adding to market capitalization.
Yeah, thank you very much. You permit me now to go into specifics. Before December 2025, when the right issue of First Bank was out, I think it was sold for 25 naira per unit. And at that time, people were saying, can this one go up? Can this one make sense? And the difference is clear if we are talking about that this morning or this afternoon. And so these are some of the things that are equally, you see, building up the capital base of the exchange, the capital base of the stock market. So, and as you can see, about around 11 o'clock this morning, First Bank reached about 137 naira per share. But as we are talking now, it is around 133 naira 60 kobo, ahead of other major trailing banks. And so, why will the market